Now, which is one of the most craziest security requests that you have received till date?
I was asked to babysit a Robbie Williams impersonator, especially as I'm not a massive fan of Robbie Williams. So we're looking at very prestigious modular builds as well. So it can be a small unit for protecting critical infrastructure, servers and databases and data systems.
AXYMN is this centralized AI-powered hub of security that will be able to monitor things like your air filter, whether it needs changing, replacing, whether there is a threat going on, whether there is anything that you need to know about. AXYMN will deploy a robot dog into the garden so that you can get the peace of mind that you want, and then the robot dog will inform Noah that everything's safe, and Noah will respond and be like, yeah, the robot dog has checked out the garden, everything's fine, you have nothing to worry about.
My goodness, that sounds so sophisticated. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the CEO Chronicles. My name is Diksha Vora and I am here with two amazing gentlemen. Now, who are these two gentlemen? They represent the AXYMN Group, a UAE-based 360-degree security solutions company. And with me, I have Mr. J, who is the Director of Intelligence, and I have Elliot, who is the Chief Technology Officer. Now, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that relates to B2B security system solutions. Have you ever heard of a security solutions company looking at selling to more security solutions companies? Well, these guys do everything differently. Then we're going to be discussing stuff about underground bunkers and very, very interesting material. So I'm not going to be wasting more time. Let's get into the conversation. So welcome to the show, Jay and
Thank
Elliot.
you.
How are you both today?
Very good, thank you.
Doing great today, thanks.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Elliot, we'll start with you. So your company, like I mentioned, provides security solutions to other companies, B2B companies, other security companies as well. So tell me more about it. How do you guys do it?
Well, essentially, because we're experts in security, all of our security personnel have been trained in the UK, so that comes with this British excellence. Even our management team have over 100 years of combined security experience, from security systems to close protection to asset protection, CCTV monitoring, all the way to military intelligence.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I personally bring is the ability to use my background experience for things like red teaming, so testing systems, whether it be in conjunction with Elliot, where we're pen testing cyber systems, or physically penetration testing businesses, processes, or even equipment, to be honest.
Okay, so you also have experience in testing the security state of critical infrastructure, isn't that correct?
Yes, yeah. So with my background, not go into too much detail about different sites, but I've been involved either leading teams or as an individual testing various different sites. Think in lines of the British CPNI, where we're looking at critical infrastructure and such.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's talk about your experience in dealing with celebrities. A lot of prominent celebrities have used your security solutions in their homes and in their living. Now, which is one of the most craziest security requests that you have received till date?
I would say it's probably not since I've left the military. It was actually during my time in the military. I was asked to babysit, really, I think is the best word.
Okay.
Not so much escort, but babysit a Robbie Williams impersonator in Afghanistan for he was performing a show for the troops. and we needed to move him around and look after him.
So the imposter
Yes.
was performing shows in
Yes.
Afghanistan. Wow.
So that was quite interesting, especially as I'm not a massive fan of Robbie Williams. So he's just got one of those faces. So that was an interesting one for me. But these days I mostly provide the training for CP personnel, more on the intelligence and the sort of proactive side of things rather than the close protection. These guys handle the close protection quite easily themselves.
Interesting. So, Jay, you come from a military background,
Yes.
okay? I want to know more about the underground military bunkers that you guys are now providing. What's it all about? What do you guys do there?
I think one of the things I would say about when we think about a military bunker, we think of maybe a cold, damp hole in the ground, concrete, and what. That's definitely a world away from what we provide. We're looking at very prestigious modular builds as well. So it can be a small unit for protecting critical infrastructure, say servers and databases and data systems, all the way up to something that could quite easily house a family for extended periods of time in some quite high luxury, to be honest. The other thing that I would say with these bunkers, it's not just about protecting people. Obviously, people are the most important thing, but also, as you've seen with the Californian wildfires, we've had a lot of celebrities who've lost their homes.
Sure.
They've lost all of their family, heirlooms, memorabilia. They've lost things from films, from film sets, because of the fire. Our systems would have prevented all of that and would have also reduced or negated the need for people to stand guard on the wreckage of these houses to prevent looters.
Sure.
Underground, secluded or concealed entrances, nicely secured. It just wouldn't have been so much of an issue, if an issue at all.
Of course.
But I don't know if you've got anything to add on that one, Elliot.
Yeah, I mean, to bring it back to a more light point, obviously we all know the sort of security and protective reasons, but having one of these bunkers, like you did say, they are luxurious, or can be if there's not a data center inside. I don't think we're going to make it luxurious for a data set of servers, but it could double as a man cave or any kind of function room for your family when there isn't a serious issue. It's super comfortable. It's like an apartment down there.
Really? That's interesting. I want to try that once in my lifetime. Okay, very, very interesting. Let's also know, this question's been bothering me for some time. Who's your ideal target audience?
I think that's really varied, to be honest. I think everything from, like we discussed there with California, with Beverly Hills, we've spoken to a producer who is interested in getting some of his clients and some of his associates these systems, but all the way through to people trying to protect infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, government organizations trying to protect infrastructure, whether it be, like you say, servers or some sort of switching point. Or
it could also be government or commercial entities that want to protect people as well.
Yes.
If we could put our bunkers in palaces, that would be wonderful. I think they would be very suited. We can kit them out so that they're suitable for royalty, let alone the super high net worth individuals at Beverly Hills.
Oh, absolutely. How are you guys able to provide for any international requirements of these as well?
Oh yes, it's something that could be delivered and spec'd for any part of the world and fitted in any part of the world. The beauty of these systems is that they effectively come almost flat packed, modular, clipped together, secured, double the thickness of most of, if not all of the other systems on the market. These are really, really high grade Belgian production.
Turkish production, Belgium certified.
Sorry, Belgium certified.
So the Belgian government has certified these bunkers as military grade, but they're produced and manufactured in Turkey by our partners, Hawk Shelters.
Oh, very nice. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And I think maybe it might be a good idea for me to mention the sort of central hub or the intelligent hub that you could actually put in this bunker that could actually have a wider impact on controlling your home and protecting your home, and that is AXYMN. AXYMN is this centralized AI-powered hub of security that will be able to monitor things like your air filter, whether it needs changing, replacing, whether there is a threat going on, whether there is anything that you need to know about. You'll be able to see it on a 3D model of your house and or bunker, and it links in with this optional extra called Noah, which is our voice assistant, which is a very intelligent voice assistant that can control every aspect of your home.
Wow. That is interesting. That's actually even futuristic. AXYMN, very nice.
And that's not just the security systems themselves that can help you with your day-to-day living experience, and it can control anything
Can
that
you
you
give me
want
an
it to
example?
do.
What all can AXYMN do?
So essentially, if you have Noah, we'll give you an example with Noah. Obviously, Noah is an extra. You can have one and Noah separately. But essentially, Noah can communicate with one. So say you're feeling a bit worried. You feel like there might be someone outside. You can say to Noah, "Hey, Noah, would you mind sending one of the robot guard dogs out into the back garden to check it out for me, please?
Okay.
I'm home alone and I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable and I just want that peace of mind."
Right.
And AXYMN will deploy a robot dog into the garden so that you can get the peace of mind that you want. And then the robot dog will inform Noah that everything's safe, and Noah will respond and be like, "Yeah, the robot dog has checked out the garden. Everything's fine. You have nothing to worry about."
My goodness, that sounds so sophisticated and easy. At least it sounds easy
I think
for a consumer.
Yes, from the consumer point of view, I think
Yes.
the biggest thing is that human-machine interface, that interaction between the two is made as simple as possible. The software is fantastic for not only recognizing words but also your intent as well behind it, which will pick up on all sorts of different stimulants to identify if you're fearful, if you are angry, anxious, and it will pick up all of this and it will tailor the response to that, which could be really useful. With the robot dogs, for instance, you could have speakers on them which would then warn an intruder that somebody has been alerted, that they need to move on, and just prevent things from escalating further. That could be an actual flying UAS, a drone, which could do the same job. But I think the physical presence of something on the ground telling you that somebody's been made aware, I think that's going to be really, really intrinsic.
And talking about physical presence as well, obviously, we're very futuristic and we have robot dogs that we can sell to you. But what we also can do is we can actually find you. We have a exclusive distribution agreement throughout the whole GAFTA region for highly trained, specialized guard dogs. That basically will be trained from birth specifically for the customer's needs and requirements.
Okay, I'd like to pause you at that point. I want to understand the difference between robot dogs and guard dogs.
So as well as robot dogs, we can actually provide bespoke family protection dogs, real dogs that are good around children, good around livestock. These dogs are trained to a standard higher than police dogs. These dogs are trained from birth to be your family's protective and loving member of the family. Essentially.
Although these are highly capable dogs and they have the ability to protect the family, they're also very, very good with family members, good around livestock and other animals. The level of training is just fantastic, and the selection process to see which of those dogs actually goes through is incredibly high to make sure that safety is the main concern for that family.
Wow, that is really interesting. Well, it would be amazing to actually have a dog with you, a family protection dog, who actually knows about your family and has been trained specifically to your family's needs.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible. Well done. Well done. Okay, so on that note, I wanted to know how are your services relevant to the Dubai market? Because a lot of millionaires, billionaires are moving here. They perhaps need your services more than anyone else because for their personal security, for their wealth, for their family, for their children, and so how does Axiom, cater to all these unique needs of especially the Dubai and the GCC region?
I think one of the things that we bring to the table is flexibility. We're flexible enough to be able to provide either the same service to multiple types of customer and very bespoke cases, or we can provide lots of different capabilities across the board. Dubai is fantastic for innovation. It's an AI hub for the world. It's a technical hub for the world. So many different businesses make their home here as well. I think that really does fit with our approach. Have you got anything on?
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there, the word bespoke. All of our things are tailored to our clients' needs. It's a bit like what kind of curtain do you want? We go down to the details of what kind of microphones you want put into your house to maintain the aesthetic that you desire from your environment.
Yeah, and I think mentioning Dubai, but we are looking much further afield, the likes of Saudi Arabia, still with us being a UK-based company as well, still having the capability to work in the UK, Western Europe, and to be honest, pretty much anywhere we're called upon.
Of course. I think as long as you have a target audience that really needs and understands the value of security systems, you can easily fit in there. Saudi Arabia is indeed a very good market. Other GCC countries also, like Bahrain, Qatar, etc., which have the high-profile people and so who would need your services. I think it would be excellent.
We actually are having some interest from these countries that you just mentioned. We are in talks with commercial entities in Saudi Arabia, and we have had contact from people in Qatar about our services.
Sure. Amazing. Well, I'm quite certain something really fruitful would come out of these collaborations because, like I said, we guys need your services. I can so see all of these fitting in our economy. Okay, let's talk about something very interesting. We discussed off camera, that was asset movement. Okay, now I did not know anything of this sort actually existing because I used to think people would just randomly carry their Rolexes, their big assets, etc. I didn't realize that there's a genuine threat, especially of theft and so on, especially when you're looking at the really, really valuable ones. Okay, talk to me about how do you guys this whole system or the whole process of asset movement easy for your clients? What do you guys do?
I think the first place to start when it comes to asset management is the planning. So understanding not only the area that you're going to be moving these goods through, but also understanding the processes, the threats, the risks at certain points. A lot of this is personnel driven. So your best assets in any organisation are always your people. Having correctly trained, highly trained, close protection officers and individuals who understand the planning process and then how to deliver on that plan as well is one of the key areas. But asset protection is something that we have a full suite of security furniture. We have the personnel to be able to move these items around the world. And this also depends upon the environment as well. In a permissive environment, a quite safe environment, we can have these individuals do that, but also in a much more dangerous or hostile environment with even up to armed personnel, armoured vehicles. We have access to armoured vehicles and drivers for those vehicles. All the full gamut, effectively, all the way from a short, relatively safe move to something much more involved.
And I think from someone who isn't a close protection officer or an asset protection operative, the thing to realise is sometimes when you have the really, really expensive watches or really, really expensive assets, sometimes the actual owner of these assets may not even be insured to transport them themselves.
Well, that is true, yes. Often ignored point.
Yes, and it's worth that extra effort, potentially
Totally.
extra cost to move these things securely. If it's a one of a kind antique, or if it's whatever it might be,
Yeah.
to put that extra effort and extra slight expenditure, but definitely worth it.
I mean, especially with cars and so on, you may have so many other things that are generally that. Imagine you're just shipping a Rolls Royce from somewhere, and you may, God alone knows what could happen on the way, in terms of damage, theft, and this is just like very normal things. There's much more.
And that's
So-
things that could potentially be replaced.
Yes.
What about high-end works of art if they need to be
Right.
moved?
The paintings and the sculptures and so on. What we do with that?
Exactly, and this is where you need
Yeah.
personnel who understand the process,
Yes.
so they understand the actual transport business and import export, but also have those necessary skills to protect it to the highest level.
In your experience so far, how likely are advanced security systems? How likely is the probability to fail? Do things ever go wrong?
I think when it comes to failure of any system, it's more when rather than if. One of the things that we're really conscious of is providing the support to ensure that these systems are maintained correctly to the highest level, that any potential failures are seen at the first instance and corrected. But I think the main thing is using high-level personnel to start with to fit these systems and design these systems, but also high-level components and systems. And we've had a number of meetings with individuals and companies that provide some of the really best quality. We've got some associations, really best quality when it comes to microphones, cameras, and other electronic systems, which are the ones that you would expect to fail the most. Physical infrastructure and physical components are designed to be incredibly tough as part of their security process or security capability. So they tend not to fail just because they are big solid lumps of steel or whatever.
Or they fail in a way that actually means that it's still carrying out its job.
Yes.
One of the things that we will be putting into AXYMN and NOAA for clients that also use our monitoring services is that if there is an issue with our monitoring station being able to contact the AXYMN setup at our client's house, there will already be a deployment of a team to go and check it out, to go and make sure that our client's safety is still okay.
Priority. Yes.
Yeah, well, it is definitely our priority, and
100%.
to make sure that if they need assistance, that assistance gets there as soon as possible.
Yes, of course, makes sense. Well, thank you so much, Elliot. Thank you so much, Jay, for all your wonderful insights. For everyone who's watching us, you know what you need to do. You need to go to AXYMN's website, go check them out, DM them on Instagram. If you want to carry your valuables or ship them from one corner of the world to the other, do not risk taking them yourselves, or don't risk them taking them through any moving company. These are specialists that really help with it. And in fact, if you are someone who's actually concerned about your security, your family security, and others, the AXYMN ecosystem is something that you should definitely take a look at and perhaps even try. For everyone, their details are actually in the description box below. Go connect with them, get more information, and live secure lives. I would like to take your leave. Thank you so much for joining and listening to my podcast. Until I see you next time, I wish you all the best and stay happy, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And I'd just like to say one other thing that is really quite important to us is the environment. And that's why at AXYMN, we actually have the capabilities to price up the carbon footprint of not only our installs, but our clients' entire work and home life effect on the environment. And we can provide avenues that they can offset these effects. And one thing that we really believe should be given a lot of focus is the fact that while a lot of our systems use AI, we are, as an organization and in our partnerships with other organizations, we believe that ethical AI use is it's a fundamental principle. It's an axiom, if you will. So that means that we ensure data privacy, data security. We ensure that our systems cannot be used in a malicious way, and we will refuse to implement systems that will cause harm. And one of the foundational principles when dealing with ethical AI is AI generated, human verified. So there you have it.